Hello, good morning and welcome to another week of our Manchester United transfer news, where we talk about all the latest news and give it that real fan opinion. And as per usual, it being the weekend over, we've got loads and loads to discuss. Let's start off with Cristiano Ronaldo, but we will be talking Anthony Martial exit, Luke Shaw, Clement Lenglet, Milinkovic Savic and a Real Madrid left field signing. But Tutto Sport are reporting that Cristiano Ronaldo has rejected the latest contract offer from Real Madrid. The truth of the matter is that Ronaldo is looking to leave Real Madrid because he wanted a new contract last summer, he didn't get it. And in fairness to Ronaldo, still the best player in the world for me, still comfortably as good as he's ever been and available because Neymar's on a lot more money, and Messi and Ronaldo are streets ahead of Neymar. So I understand why Ronaldo probably feels a little bit aggrieved. And the talk yet again is that if he does leave, it will be Manchester United or PSG that gets Ronaldo. Keep your eye on that. Just keep your eye on it. He's out of the World Cup now. Spoke about this on Saturday night. Keep your eye on it because he's definitely not happy at Real Madrid. It doesn't mean it can't be resolved, and they would be mad not to resolve it. But if he becomes available, I think it would be criminal for Manchester United not to be going for him. So see what happens with that. Talking about criminal acts or potential criminal acts that United fans would perceive them to be, Martial leaving Manchester United. Is that going to happen again? We're going to find out about that in the next couple of weeks. But Bayern Munich have entered the fray now. And whilst Juventus have been linked to Martial in the past, I'm not 100% sure that Juventus really have the funds to go for Martial, which I'll discuss why in a moment. But I'm also not too sure whether Martial at Juventus works when they've already got people like Douglas Costa, I think, is going to stay. And will he get first team football there? Is it the right club for him? Bayern Munich suits Martial better. Robben and Ribéry are coming towards the end of their careers there. They need some explosive width, and Martial would provide that. And I think Anthony Martial to Bayern Munich is a better move for him than it would be at Juventus. Because at the end of the day, many Manchester United fans feel if Anthony Martial leaves, he will be the sort of player that bites Manchester United on the back. He's only 22. Give him 2 years at a big club. He develops and becomes the great player that everyone thinks he can be. At Bayern Munich, he'll do that because it's a bit of a pub league, the German league. So it's not the standard of the Premier League. He will be in the Champions League. And if he could get regular first-team football there, it's the development ground for Martial. I still think the perfect place for him is Manchester United. I think he thinks the perfect place is Manchester United if it wasn't under this manager. So let's see what happens with that. I'm still hopeful that Martial can stay, but let's see what happens. Also want to just bring in Milinkovic Savic here. He plays in Italy, obviously, at Lazio, linked to Juventus. Gazzetta dello Sport is a good outlet there, and they've said that Manchester United could end up paying over the odds if they want Milinkovic Savic, because Juventus want him, and Lazio apparently have put a £97.5 million value on him. Now, if we go and sign Milinkovic Savic now, I'll be absolutely stunned. For me, that deal's over. That is over. I think United were interested, but I think Fellaini stops Milinkovic Savic coming to Manchester United because Fellaini has always played in the midfield for Mourinho, and Milinkovic Savic is a midfielder who plays in a similar position to Fellaini. So why would you keep Fellaini and then bring Milinkovic Savic in as well? I would like us to go and get Milinkovic Savic. I know some people think he had a couple of bad games in the World Cup. It's probably the only time they've ever watched him. And, you know, that's their opinion. But I can categorically tell you that he will go and have a good season wherever he is next season. And he will go and be one of the best midfielders in the world. Yes, he had a bad World Cup. So did Messi. Arguably, so did Ronaldo. So are we judging him by their standards, or are you just going to decide he's a bad player? But I don't think United are in for him anymore. I did say a couple of days ago, I guarantee United will still be linked with him until he goes somewhere else. But I do feel that Fellaini enders United's interest in Milinkovic Savic. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am. Clement Lenglet is a Sevilla centre-back. He played against us when they thrashed us or dominated us in the Champions League. He's got a release clause of about £30 million. He's 22. I think he's 6'2". Very impressive what he's doing at Sevilla. Meant to be the next big thing in relation to French centre-backs, of which they have many, and looking to leave Sevilla. Local Sevilla papers saying that he could sign for Barcelona any time. In fact, by the time you're watching this, he may well have signed. United were linked to him. He was an attractive proposition for me because he is a good player. I think he can develop and be an even better player and his price tag it's a bit like Umtiti at Barcelona when it was a 50 million release clause. Obviously, he's signed his new contract now. So that's the one that looks like it's going to go to Barcelona. So another centre-back target gone. And when you think about the players that we potentially have been linked to, Alderweireld, Boateng, both touching 30, both a little bit injury prone, both probably going to cost north of 50 million quid. And then you've got someone like Lenglet, who could be, one of the best centre-backs in the world, and he's available for 30. It's disappointing that we potentially haven't got that deal done. However, I must agree with what some people said on Twitter yesterday. How do we know we were in for him? Which, in some ways, that people who say that are always going to be right, but in other ways they're always going to be wrong. Because when do Manchester United ever release a list of people they're after? And the way the transfer market works, United will be in for a lot of players, like they were last summer, the summer before, that they won't get. There'll be some paper stories that are nonsense. There'll be some that are true. There'll be some players United get. There'll be some that they don't get. So we could have been in for Lenglet, but the reality is, actually, if it's us against Barcelona, he plays in Spain, and Barcelona are a more attractive proposition. Although Barcelona do have a lot of centre-backs. Piqué, Umtiti, they've got that Colombian centre-back as well, who's been doing very well. So, but another one bites the dust, or does it, I suppose. Sticking with Spain for a moment, Vasquez, who is, they call him the Real Madrid Jesse Lingard, because he gets a lot of games ahead of people like Isco and Asensio, and he's well liked, and he's part of the Spanish squad as well. He's been linked with Manchester United. Not good enough as far as I'm concerned. I mean, this is the sort of player that United should not be going for. He can play in a number of positions. He can play right back. He can play right midfield. But I don't see that as the standard Manchester United should be going for. I mean, that literally is signing Real Madrid reserves. And there are Real Madrid players that I think might be surplus to requirements that we go for, like a Gareth Bale. But I wouldn't want Vasquez. I really wouldn't. But just to cover that story and box it off. Also, I mean, if Real Madrid wanted to do that deal with us, it tells a lot as well, doesn't it? Because we struggle to do deals with Real Madrid. If they're happy for us to do a deal with them, I'd wonder about the sort of player that we're getting. So hopefully there isn't anything in that story. Just want to sort of talk about Luke Shaw as well. This came out yesterday in relation to Luke Shaw that he is expecting, well, he will be back at training for Manchester United next week, this week coming up, and expects to be working towards getting a new long-term contract. Doesn't expect to be moving on this summer. What that means for Manchester United and left-back options, I do not know. I mean, my fear is that if Luke Shaw stays, Ashley Young's staying, we ain't going to get a left-back. And if we don't get a left-back, I mean, we've already kept Fellaini and we're not going to get a left-back. It starts to turn the stomach more and more. I mean, what changes are we going to make? I mean, some people feel that Jesse Lingard shouldn't be starting games if we want to win a title. He should be a bench player. Well, I guarantee he will start games next season. A lot of people wanted Fellaini gone and felt that if he's part of the squad, we can't do anything next season. Well, he's staying. A lot of people said if Ashley Young is still our left back, we've got no chance of winning the league. He's staying. So where are the changes that are coming? Is it just going to be a marquee signing and keep everything the same? Would that be enough? Would adding Gareth Bale to the team last season, or even, dare I say it, a Ronaldo to the team last season, would that be enough? It would improve us, but would it be enough with the problems that we've already got from last season not solved? So I like Luke Shaw, and I'd love Luke Shaw to be our first choice left back, but I think Jose Mourinho has made it abundantly clear that whilst Luke Shaw's at the club, he will be deputy to Ashley Young. And Ashley Young is our first choice left back. We won't win the league, I don't believe. So I like Luke Shaw. I'd rather see news that he was leaving, because then it would mean we're going to sign a left back. And if we're signing a left back, I think he would be our first choice. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, please do drop a like on the video. Lots and lots for you to discuss there. Ronaldo, Milinkovic Savic, Martial to Bayern, Lenglet to Barcelona. Should we have been in for it? Could we have been in for it? Are we actually an attractive proposition to signings now? If there's competition, are players going to look at United and go, don't really fancy that project, and go elsewhere? Is that an issue for United? Give us your comments below. Remember, we will be live tonight at 9 o'clock as per usual after the World Cup games. Smash the like button, give us your comments, loads to discuss in there. Big 2 weeks for United as well. As I said last night, big 2 weeks. If you didn't see last night's show, click the eye in the top right-hand corner. Big 2 weeks ahead. 2 weeks away, and we're going on the US tour. We don't normally sign players when we're on tour. So 2 weeks to do, I can think about 3 that need to leave and 3 that need to come in. Can we do that in 2 weeks when there's nothing going on at the moment? Interesting to see. Very, very interesting. 5 weeks to the first game of the season and the end of the window as well. Give us your thoughts. Thanks for watching.